we call crown separation. Fold the front parts of the hair after the crown separation. A curtain to make cardamom process. We split the hair in half. After this separation, starting from ear levels, we create a diagonal separation from both sides. Then while cutting our customer's E right side, I go to the left and E starting from cheekbones, 45 degrees. We will create a distinction, haircut with a distinction of 45 degrees. So we'll start doing here E profile, E starting from the apple bones. We determine our sword from top to bottom at an angle of 45 degrees. And I cut and the other parts are the same at an angle of 45 degrees after cutting. I scan them all towards myself and I make my cut by creating a single line. Then I will cut the left side. While cutting the left side, I pass to the right side of my customer, the first part of the guinea cheekbones. I cut it so I separate it diagonally. Later. Right? Scanning from left to right. I'm cutting the first part. Then the second part is the same from the right. I'm taking it all alone to the left and cut the previous. From my hair point, I cut our banana the same size. After folding the front, back eye first, we created a profile separation on the right side. We divided the hair into two main sections. I will fold the back in two main sections. Same way again. I'm creating a diagonal separation towards the back. And on the right, piece. For cutting the right part, I go to the left side and the front one I cut first guinea from section right to the left. As you can see by creating a distinction, I was born first cut. Hair point. I cut by specifying, so I scan. This time I'm scanning them all forward. That is at an angle of 45 degrees. Scanning directly to the front, I see the hair spot I cut before. I see the guide, so I equate it with hair length. Both in the front parts here, I equate with the height. I equate with the length in the front. Both. When the blow dry you scatter is taken, when the shape is given the front, hair equality, and long pieces, so that it does not appear at 45-degree angles to the front section. I scan the back with diagonal Ian angles and forward. I'm scanning in the front part again, at an angle of 90 degrees for scanning forward. I'm cutting. This side, no. What happens when I scan this cutting process forward? There is a folding process from the front to the back, because the hair in the front is a little short. There is a cut suitable for the short hair in the front. Hair falls longer towards the back, and folding process on the front and back. We are applying both from the front. We shorten and fold. A hair we see when we throw it backwards. We made a move. And a both oval. Here and an oval back. The look was also folded and ovally. We will have a look. This time to check the hair guinea after combing. I comb the hair completely and towards the peak. I lift it up. A check again. Is there an error after checking it? Equalize and from the ends. I'm cutting. I look at the 3 dots and cut by length. Then, so you know your hair. To apply a folding operation to the foundation, I divide the hair in half with the guinea star technique. And listen piece by piece. As you can see, so neither too thick nor too much. I scan upwards in thin pieces. 90 degrees. And from the ends, with point cutting technique. I apply hair folding Here with the star technique, a suitable structure for the hair. I'm applying a folding process. As you can see here after seeing the longest point. Herzi a point cutting technique. With point cutting technique, I'm applying a folding process. Here I comb the hair and from above. Hair 90 degrees according to the direction of hair output. And 45 degrees compared to the length of the hair. I keep cutting with angles. As you can see, 90 degrees. Scanning the stone and the 45-degree point of cut with cutting technique. I continue my process. You too, to support my channel. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our videos reach many people. And thanks to you watching our videos. Dear friends, my video, thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Our folding process is over, friends. Now to the ends of the hair. With the net scissors, that is, with the scissors we call intermediate scissors. We apply thinning softening process, starting from the front part to the hair auger technique. So I'm twisting the hair and the ends. With intermediate scissors, I'm thinning here at the ends to ensure a more homogeneous fall of the hair. To get a smoother image, I apply thinning process with auger technique. You want to watch my other videos too. If you want, in the videos section of my channel. Many kinds of videos. I have videos in many categories. You can watch my videos there too. If you have any questions, description part of my video. I have social media addresses there too. You can ask by contacting me, or in the comment section of my video. Leave your questions. I can read them and give you detailed information. You can ask questions. Do you also enjoy layered hair? Curtain cardamom and other EA pixie haircuts, short haircut, bob cut, and other If you want to get services about hairdressing, to my salon in Istanbul Beylikdüzü, you can come. To come too. From my social media addresses in the description section of my video, reaching me by making an appointment, you can get service. I continue thinning the ends of the hair. The reason why I do auger hair when I do thinning on the back and ends. When the hair opens, so we get a more natural look. As you can see, our process is over. Now our forming process, we will apply our process. I will apply a layered moving blow dry process. As you can see, front moving, folded backs. We are with you with a beautiful hair design, friends. If you like my video, I model. If you like the design, make sure to like my video. Commenting and social media. Don't forget to share on your address.
Hello friends, today I will apply bob haircut design to you. How can I explain this in detail? 1. I applied work. Here I will first create the basic distinctions. First of all, our most basic distinction is profile separation. Profile distinction. In the middle of your neck. We have separated to the end point. We call the distinction that is one straight line profile separation. I make that distinction first. Our model's hair is worn out. For us to grow healthier, this style 1 short bob cut. Worn sections on the ends of the top. I'm creating the second division now, the crown separation. The separation of the crown is also our comb, from the point where your back touches. I will create the distinction here. So this distinction is exactly the end of the ear. Profile separation. From the end of an ear, I'm sober until the other ear science. Again, one straight line. I'm creating a crown separation. Health. That's why it is very comfortable with the help of such a wheelchair. On short haircuts in the same line, you can do this kind of work. First, now while cutting hair. According to the hair color of the hair, you can also use a comb. Here in light tones 1. I choose combs in dark tones because it's hair. Here in the open sections, as you can see comb. And I can see the hair clearly. But if I used an open comb, I had a little trouble cutting. That's why. Well, it is important to use a comb according to the color of the hair. We lean forward of our customer's light head of our model. Now your neck is short. First, create our guide. Here a little more in the shit cut. Sharp horse cutting technique for a clear cut. So I'll create a cut with a straight scissor stroke. Here I adjust the shortness to myself. And my comb. Using as ruler. I'm creating a straight line. Here I comb the hair according to the natural output drop. And my comb. There are small stones here with a machine. Now we cut our first glass. This is the length of our hair now creating horizontal separations in a gradual way. We will continue our cutting, here at an angle of 45 degrees by opening the hair. I continue my cuts. I created one horizontal distinction. Burden. By creating a horizontal one distinction in Guinea. I'm looking at the bottom of your hair. From the previous height. Checking and touching my finger on the neck. I'm creating a 45-degree angle here. And I cut the Guinea horizontally. It's horizontal 45 degrees. There is also a vertical 45 degrees. You can use both in the same way. Her hair is vertical. You can create a 45-degree angle again. Same way. You can cut it like this or you can cut it horizontally. Both in the same way. You can adapt. I look at the bottom of our hair, I see our guide. And continue my guide here. I'm touching my guinea finger by opening it here. We see our guide in our hair again from the bottom. We always act according to the guide. While cutting. Now we have passed the second stage. So we're creating a gravitation bob design here. Staggered floor. There will be one textured cut, a little more voluminous than the nape part, and it will fall off. Here the stance of our model's head is very important. At least slightly forward. Must be. Again, previous haircut. I'm checking the section we've done. From the bottom. After seeing it. 45-degree angle with my little finger. By creating this angle. Your hair. Separation parallel with one grip. I see it here and I cut it. Yes. I'm scanning parallel to the separation again. I'm looking at our hair from the bottom. I see the point of the hair we cut before. Following my guide here. Again slightly diagonal at one angle of 45 degrees. I cut with angle. Shake, 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 shake. Ah. Cut to ear level up to 45 degrees. After 45 degrees. Because our angle has changed. Now. Our grip will also change. We will concentrate a little more flaws here. Yes. Take both a little and me and don't leave for sure. One more click here, one more click back. It can be from this angle. Now here I will cut by creating vertical angles. I was creating a horizontal cut before. Now that our hunger has changed. The angle after the ear level vertically. By creating distinctions. I will create. Here again, I will protect the 45-degree angle, the cut. Vertical 45. Our hair comb. I will adapt to the exit direction. I touch our comb and comb. Here is a 90-degree 1 exit angle. But what am I doing? I cut it 45 degrees as a cut. So 90-45 degrees 1. Creating a cutting angle. I continue to cut. Burden. I create a folding at a 90-degree angle and 45-degree opening or one more. We return a homogeneous image. Here again gradually creating vertical angles. I'm touching my comb again according to the direction of hair exit. I comb it according to the bottom of the hair and the direction of exit. Scanning at one angle of 90 degrees, I cut it vertically and at an angle of 45 degrees. 45 degree inside out. Here the upper part stay longer, the bottom is shorter. What's up here? Short hair pushes long hair and more stingy. Makes it happen. Direction of hair. I create a 90-degree angle according to and when cutting. My guide from the short point of the hair 45 degrees 1. I cut with angle. Hair my comb. Touching the stream. I scan 90 degrees straight. According to the exit direction, that is, suitable for the and exit
after seeing
direction
the guide
of the hair 45 degrees 1. I create and cut angle. Yes, yes. Now here is the hair part hair. Neck from the front. Guinea diagonal by creating one distinction. Cross the front part of the hair a little more. We will leave it long, so it will be transitional from short to long. That's why I'm going to the right side of the hair. And light diagonal one by creating a distinction. From the front of the hair. Here in a gradual way. According to our guide. Here is Guinea for your hair to be long in front of you. You need to create a 45-degree angle downwards. And I cut. As you can see, there was one fold that stretched slightly forward. Ha. Ha. Here it is equally light. Cross the front like this. Diagonal one distinction forward. Here I comb your hair in parallel with the separation. Neither right nor left hair. Let's say T-shape here, T distinction. I see my guide here. I'm creating a 45-degree angle again. Curve down and cutting. As you can see, the front is a little longer. Now I'm at the top here. I'm creating a vertical distinction in Guinea. You may not cut it in one go like this, me too. I take it once. because the directions of the hair exit direction are different. Here now, we touch our skin with your hair. And the exit direction here is 90 degrees 1. I'm creating an angle and here, the guide we cut. And in accordance with this guide, I'm cutting. Because the end and end parts of it are a little short. I cut it too short. If it's long, the hair is still, creating an angle of 45 degrees so you can cut it here. But I'm to pick up the fractures on the ends. According to your hair length, he still takes the fractures on the ends without breaking it. Again in a gradual way. In 2 pieces. No? According to the structure of the hair by creating slice distinctions here, we create a cut. Hair distribution is better than that. I touch the bottom of my comb and 90 degrees according to the exit direction of my comb. Scanning angle and again. Hair from the point I cut the longest. This guide continues my guide. And take a piece to your manual. Same way according to the structure of the hair. To be. I touch the bottom of my comb and according to the exit place. Scanning angle by creating a 90-degree deficit and after seeing the guide, I'm cutting. Here we scan the upper parts. Now here is my head. The head of our model is very important. Angle now we give back a little bit. And we give it sideways then. And scanning now. By checking Guinea with a comb. Our comb needs to touch the neck. Because by getting support here. Not to be crooked. After seeing this guide, according to our guide, cross our hair comb a little more in front of you. We will make it long. And we do our cutting process. Slightly curved forward as you can see. I'm coming to the right. In the same way, the stance of our model. I adapt the same way. And here, combing from top to bottom. I touch my comb to the neck without pressing too much. And as you can see from this part, after seeing my guide, I'm cutting. One design stretching forward as you can see here. Bulky back. Now the part we cut from the top. First after forming the neck, a little bit to the here part. That's why we'll make movement. We take this section, a distinction we call horseshoe, by creating, starting from this part, starting from the section we call hat separation. I make a distinction with add nan. We can also call this a distinction from the top. It's in the form of U, so it looks like a mistake. If you want the front part of the hair to be long here again, you can create an upward angle of 45 degrees. Like this. Thing right angle with 90-degree angle right angle. And a 45-degree angle with a scanning angle and a cutting angle. As here section. Gradual shape again. I cut it in one piece because the hair is short here. If the hair is long, you can cut it in at least 3 pieces. Because even if you cut it in one piece, the hair will be too short. So you cut it gradually in 3 pieces. The front part falls even longer. Hair here, on the end sides, to balance worn sections. I cut. After doing this, we will apply a thinning process. Hair. In those extreme parts. To soften hard transitions. Lightweight. Fashion show scissors with intermediate scissors. Again in a gradual way. Thinning hair. While thinning here, neither from the bottom nor from the ends, your hair is light like this. You can thin the hair starting from the short middle part. If you take it from the bottom, the hair will swell a lot this time. My hair is usually always. Of course it depends on the length of the hair. Here more from the end. We will apply. So the middle part. Straight if you want. If you want, also in a cross way. You can create. Like this. 1, 2, 3. Yes, our design is like this. I will show you the latest version of the blow dryer. Lightweight layer gravitation. Our bob haircut. You also use these techniques. You can cut. Yes, don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.
Hello everyone, how to design pixie haircut for you today. It's done. I'll explain it in detail. Asterisk first, I created the basic separations, then asterisk now. How do I create the basic distinctions here? Starting from the eyebrow lines, triangle 1 in format 1, I made a distinction, high, asterisk we call the purchase. Motive separation this. Distinction B, dividing the hair from the back into two main sections, asterisk I started hair removal here by creating a horizontal separation from the neck 1 from the bottom to determine the shortness starting hair with vertical separations, asterisk I. Start cutting at 90-degree angles, asterisk. This will be our guide. Asterisk, this shortness determines the length of your short hair after cutting the hair from the nape part after creating a horizontal separation asterisk. I cut it at 90-degree angles. Separation with vertical separations. Then I check the hair here. So is there a mistake or not? Starting from the neck. So now I continue my haircut asterisk here. As you can see, after cutting the nape part to soften the ends of the hair channel. Cutting technique. Softening the ends, and after cutting the neck join asterisk. I'm creating a vertical distinction now. This one separation at the bottom asterisk. I will combine it with the hair point I cut. 1 divided the levels and the hair asterisk with 90-degree angles according to the output direction I keep cutting. You see here asterisk I. Create a sharpening cutting technique like asterisk I. Cut the hair with a sharp scarf. Technique asterisk I. Comb the hair according to the exit direction of the hair at 90 degrees asterisk and asterisk I. Cut the first tier in the bottom of the hair following the hair guide. I have determined I cut the same size after cutting hair to the top and the top combing hair. Cut asterisk I. Continued, then the other after cutting the step I cut in the middle I created a vertical separation from the left side again. After creating this separation asterisk, I combed the hair again at a 90 degree scanning angle, and I'm scanning upwards, and the hair point I cut. I see the manual and continue my cutting here. I cut with straight scissor strokes asterisk, yes, as you can see later, asterisk 1 horizontal. I create one horizontal separation on the right and left side, and this horizontal distinction is like this, yes, with the hair guide. I cut before asterisk, I comb the hair in front of the exit, and asterisk, yes, with straight scissor stroke, with sharpening cutting technique, asterisk, I continue my cutting process in the back. I see the guide, so I cut the previous one. I see your hair point guide, asterisk first, a horizontal, asterisk, now I cut it according to the length of the hair. Now I continue my cutting process with vertical separations, then asterisk after cutting the point I cut at the bottom. After cutting the point I reserved upwards, asterisk I separate one level for a guinea, one level for a vertical. After separating scanning upwards, asterisk towards the exit direction of the hair point cutting technique, I keep cutting asterisk, yes. As you can see here, the purchase pattern on the front, I just didn't open the distinction, just asterisk E. The nonsense I cut before E to the two main parts I have reserved. I continue with asterisk after cutting the left side. I go to the right side, asterisk, yes, here, asterisk again, I created one distinction by creating a vertical distinction, and now asterisk upwards, asterisk now. As you can see here from the temple, part 1, I made a distinction horizontal of horizontal asterisk after creating the distinction. The previous, from the hair point I cut, as you can see, asterisk your shortness, I'm checking, and I see the sheath on the hair point and horizontally I continue my cutting process. As you can see here, horizontal I create one cut and asterisk after this. Cut is formed asterisk. Did I leave it down? As you can see, gets one story view and guinea with vertical separations, asterisk. I equate the top and bottom equally again, creating a vertical separation again, yes, my E control by creating one vertical separation and E point cutting technique, asterisk mistakes at the ends. If there are long parts, asterisk, I'm picking up and I've come to the top. I cut the bottom now. The upper part is likewise with vertical separations, asterisk E, now upwards again, in accordance with the brevity at the bottom, by cutting with dot cutting technique, asterisk that is. By cutting with point cutting technique asterisk, I continue the haircut hair here from top to bottom asterisk. I gradually cut to the point cutting technique. Here is the length of your hair. We determined asterisk. We determined this height, that is, the hair length on the nape. This paint fits in one way. We follow our guide and cut it to the same size. Yes, as you can see downwards, I continue my direct cutting process to control asterisk. I'm using the star technique here, so my slice is above starting from the top down asterisk. I cut in one step. Yes, I started from the right to the left, always checking asterisk, cutting with downward asterisk, asterisk. Point cutting technique, point cut on the ends of the hair when we cut the technique, asterisk, zigzag, zigzag E, it creates views to when you leave the hair natural E. More homogeneous, more neat, one E so hair scissors doesn't show your trace and provides one more natural transition asterisk. Now we're at the front of the hair asterisk here again I created one vertical distinction, asterisk E, and the distinction here is appropriately on the back E section upwards, front part a little longer E. It will happen here at an angle of 45 degrees, asterisk E, the front part, asterisk. I cut it gradually with the star technique. Again, from short to long greetings, if you want to get a haircut like this, E. Social media addresses in the description part of my video available U to E short story. By going to my salon as an appointment pixie haircut, you can get the service asterisk. As you can see, we continue our haircut border. Yes, asterisk yes. In accordance with the guide, I cut before front parts of the hair slightly too long. I'm scanning at a 90-degree 1E scanning angle again, but as a cut. I make a 45-degree cut. The front of the hair is a little longer, to appear, asterisk. Here we will determine the separation point of your hair, Which direction will it divide? Our customer in that direction, asterisk. We will continue our folding process here. The ends of the hair I wet it again because it is thin wire. It is dry The hair dries very quickly, so I wet it. I continue the cutting process again, asterisk. Yes, here is our customer. Splitting her hair to the left side. We are also our customer passing to the right. We continue our cutting process at one more comfortable angle from right to left with one scan angle cut at 45-degree angles to the front of the hair. Nice asterisk. We apply folding process by providing one pass and I continue my cutting here with Picadus technique, softening the ends of the hair. I make it a better one. Pass. Our haircut is over, so now stage 2, starting from the front of the hair in a gradual way, softening the ends of the hair with net scissors and add some depth to the hair. Here, scissors, losing your tracks and for more natural one transition of hair in to make their fall more natural one Fowler model. For more comfortable use in daily life apply softening to the ends of the hair. Here, with effigy shears and canal technique island softening the end parts from back to front. As you can see here, I thin the ends of the hair in Pictus technique, asterisk, definitely to the bottom of the hair, asterisk, i.e. don't apply file scissors from the bottom. I apply the ends of the hair, starting from the neck, asterisk, again. Gradually with the channel technique, thinning your hair from the neck. If you want to get a haircut like this, you can come to my salon and get a haircut service. In Istanbul, Beylikdüzü, Chung R Hall. I'm working on an appointment now. If you want to make an appointment, asterisk, by reaching me from my social media addresses, Sue can get haircut service, asterisk. My gradual thinning process continues, asterisk, after examining the nape part. The middle part of the hill, I came to the occult area, and here is the Guinea Canal, and asterisk, I keep thinning the ends of the hair. Then I came to the top. Here in Guinea Picas technique, the ends of the hair, I thinned guinea tips when I reach the peak, asterisk, Thinning, I continue my process after our haircut, asterisk, with a nice shaping process and blow dry process, Now our model's haircut design. We're done, guys. If you want a haircut like this, asterisk, I need my salon. You can get service haircut service, our model, short layered pixie haircut.
Hello friends, today, blunt haircut. I will explain in detail how to do this. Our model, your hair first. We create basic distinctions. Our first basic distinction is profile separation. After creating a profile separation, we create a crown separation. And after creating the coronation, we divide the hair into four main sections. Profile separation. From the beginning of the forehead to the end of the nape. Distinction with crown separation 1. From ear to ear. From the beginning 1. Starting from ear to ear and up to the other ear. We make crown separation to the distinction we have separated. With this distinction, we divide the hair into four main sections. Then horizontal from the nape part 1. By creating a distinction from 2 parts. So neither too thick nor too much. The basis of hair after creating fine separation. We will create, so we will determine the length of the hair. Scissors. Sharpening cutting technique using like a ruler. Creating our first guide. So we determine the first height. After determining this size, we are going to the second stage guide. And in level 2, her hair is straight one way. Using our comb as a ruler. Guide. With the sharpening technique, that is, with the straight scissor stroke, we keep cutting our hair. Yes. Where we took an example. Our guide so one previous cut. From the hair point we got. We continue we cut the same size. After making this cut. After the neck. We pass to the right. We create one horizontal distinction in guinea. The guide we cut from this nape part. Guinea by following. Using our comb as a ruler. We cut it the same size. After cutting the right side, we go to the left side. We create one horizontal distinction on the left side guide. Because we will create a blunt one cut here. We continue our process by creating horizontal separations. Here again one we cut before. Comb as a length guide in the nape section. Using it like a ruler guide. We cut the left side section with the same technique. As you can see here we used our comb. And cut to the same size. Then checking guide. Between fingers. Hair with technique. We continue our cut. Then we go to the back. Again by creating one horizontal distinction. We are progressing gradually towards the top. Here are the gradual thin pieces from the neck. Taking horizontal parts. We continue our process. Bird. From the hill. As we progressed, we created one distinction to the top and created one horizontal one distinction from the middle part guide. Then take one piece of the vertical. Between fingers. With holding technique. So we kept cutting our hair. Then second, guinea. Use our comb as a ruler and remove one previous hair point. Taking the guide so one. With the hair point we cut before. We cut the same size. Here we use our comb as a ruler. Seeing the hair point we cut before. We continue our process. And finally, after coming to the top. As you can see to pieces of pliers. Separate in the section on the back of the last connected. We scan by separating from the pliers. And comb the hair according to the natural direction of fall. From the guinea nape part. Starting from the middle part. Following our guide at the bottom. Our haircut. We continue. In our haircut here, one of the hair points we cut before. As a guide and. We continue our cutting as a guide. Here we use our comb as a ruler and straight one. Haircut. We take care to do. Here is the stance of our customer's head. Points are also very important. Always head of our customer. If we cut the back part, the side to the front. We cut the right side to the left. If we cut the left side to the right. By depositing. Then we keep cutting. As you can see, we went to the right. I set our customer's head stand distance on the right. I used the comb with scissors and comb as a ruler. One hair point we cut before. I saw. And I analyzed and cut using it like a ruler. For later control purposes, I combed the hair according to its direction of fall. And finger-to-finger cutting technique. Is your hair wrong? By checking. I kept cutting with straight scissors blows. I went to the left. Same guinea on the left. I used my comb as a ruler. With straight scissor stroke. I continued with cutting by creating a straight line. As you can see here, according to the direction of hair fall. Again with a straight scissor stroke with the interfinger cutting technique. I continue the haircut, cutting my hair. One hair point that I cut before as a guide. I take care to move forward. If you want to get a haircut like this, social media addresses in the description part of my video, available by reaching here, by coming to my salon and making an appointment. You can get a haircut. Contact e-appointment from my social media addresses. You can come to my salon and get a haircut. As you can see, only one. E with straight scissor stroke with sharp line cutting technique and straight blunt one haircut with techniques. We created the decode. Here to the front of the hair. We will give light movement. So we will do the folding process. In front of you while folding. We create one distinction that we call the purchase motif. When creating this separation of purchase motif, starting from the end point of the eyebrow, we touch our comb, and the point on the top where our comb touches. We make the distinction in a triangle one way, friends. While making this distinctio, we take the end points of the eyebrow as a guide. Hair after distinctio. If I cut your right side, I'll crossing my client's left side. And the eye appeared 45 degrees in width. With angles, I'm painting from top to bottom. After cutting the right side, I go to the left side. Our customer. I pass to the right side while cutting the left side. And again at an angle of 45 degrees. I continue my folding process. If you want to have one haircut like this, you can come to my salon and get hair cutting service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you. Our videos are being watched more and more every day. We reach more people. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm checking here. Our process. And in the front, we will also finish our folding process. Created a clear one cut with the blunt sharp cutting technique. We are. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I leave you alone with a clear beautiful one cut. Thank you so much for watching my video till the end. I do. Take good care of yourself. Hope to see you.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm with you with a new video. Curtain bangs for you today. Hair design, and how to make a straight haircut design. I will explain in detail. I created these first. I created your profile separation. After creating the separation of profiles, I created the coronation. And after creating that distinction, her hair is from behind D. Straight haircut by creating horizontal separations of hair. I started the cutting process. Friends, first of all, I cut it gradually. After creating the first E horizontal separation, I determined the length of your hair and haircut with the sharp horse cutting technique. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke, and as a second tier, again, in the hair point I cut before, I determined the length of the hair in the same way as the guide. I cut it straight. I divided the back part of the hair, or the hair, into 4 main sections. I cut the first part, and now I switched to the second part. The second part is the same to the hair point I cut before. In parallel, so E, same hair point. So I continue. And head to the cutting process, I continued and continue. As you can see here, I cut the hair straight, the back part backwards. I cut the back straight. Then I went to the side head of our customer. After setting the stop point at the back, taking a piece of the hair point I cut the side straight in the same line. Here, the foundation of the hair will be straight at the bottom, applying the folding process to the front of the hair. Curtain bangs design. E, I will apply the haircut. Here is the hair straight after cutting the length of the hair. By creating a profile distinction, I separate it from the middle part of the hair. Bangs usually your hair. We start our process by separating it from the middle part. And later, starting from eyebrow height, your hair, I will fold the front part. I will do the construction work. I separate the sections as you can see, and your hair E. Passing to our customer's left side while cutting the right side. E by applying an angle of 45 degrees. I'm starting the cutting process, guys. As you can see, after cutting the first operation, in the second operation, down to 45-degree angles, I keep cutting. As you can see here, the curtain by folding the front parts. Bangs hair design. I'm creating. I went to the other process. E here again. After cutting the left side now, I went to the right side. But by crossing the E right of our customer, I cut the left side. Here is the hair point that I cut before. E take my guide. Measure my hair from there. I start the cutting process after measuring your height. As you can see, our customer. Because I cut the right side of our customer, I went to our customer's right because I cut the left side, and the cutting process continues, folding the front parts with 45 degrees of pane. And fold the front parts. VE, I help her get a moving look. And E, as well as other process. Now the back parts and the front parts E. I also started folding the back parts and our customer E while folding. My folding process by separating slice by slice. I continue. Here I always check my guide E. First by taking my guide from the hair point I cut. Hair according to the output of the hair, creating an angle of 90 degrees. I'm folding. Here according to the structure of the hair, separating slices. I continue the cutting process. From the top of the hair, lifting upwards. Your hair is up guinea by forming a 90-degree angle. As well. Point cutting technique. I continue my process by applying point cutting technique. Yes, friends, as you can see, It was a beautiful haircut design. You also have this kind of floor. If you want to do it, come to my salon. You can get haircut service. Your social media address. It will be in the description part of my video. Reaching from there and coming to my left side, you can get a haircut service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I will be with you guys with new videos. I wish you a good day. Hello friends. Bob haircut design that stands out for you today. I will explain in detail how to do this. We will divide the hair into two main sections. Our first distinction is profile separation. From the middle of two eyebrows to the neck. We call the distinction profile separation. After creating a profile separation, your hair is at shoulder level first. So I'm from the left. I created an E horizontal distinction. I cut my first schmond after creating the horizontal separation. Here your neck E. And starting at the very beginning. Mackerel, sharpening cutting technique. That is, with a straight I made a distinction. Stroke. And E. Now, after cutting the left side, I went to the right side. The right side is the same, with straight scissor stroke between fingers, and sharp line cutting technique, so straight E with its below Z. I'm creating a fixed design. At the back, as you can see, the previous, following the hair point I cut. I'm creating burden, always the hair point we cut before. E as a guide. If you guide yourself, this too. E prevents you from making mistakes. As you can see here, E horizontal, diagonal, by creating distinctions, that is, because it stretches forward, by creating forward diagonal divisions. So yes, I keep cutting. Now I have divided it into the third level. After 3 separations you see, like the hair point we cut before. E guinea scanning backwards is straight. So I'm creating a cut. So here's her hair. Scanning backwards, I cut it straight. And following this in the same way. I cut by combing backwards. E guinea straight form, I continue. Here is a longer view from the back to the short front. We get. Here E the name of this design is fixed. So we can also call it a line. So at a fixed point, cut the hair. Towards the back, it can be short or long. When you make such a cut, the front of the hair is longer. The backs will be shorter. SO here. E forward E bob. So we can say lop because it's a long bob. E we can also say lop cut. E, yes, here, under the neck. Neither too short nor too long design, as you can see backwards here. E with sharpening exact technique. Scissors, E straight E. Somehow, scanning backwards, and between fingers. I scan, I create very clear and sharp lines. As you can see, I always follow my guide from behind. I mean, the hair point I cut before. I cut by following. Very clear. I'm going to give the hair a little texture here. From ear from the peak. I make a diagonal distinction to the back, so I'm creating a cross distinction to the back, here behind the ear. The right side of my client. I'm going to the left because you front of the hair. I will create floors here. E as a shortness in the front part of the floor. Cheeky by aligning your bones, that is, your cheekbones. E taking a guide, so the shortest. The section starts right from the most purposeful bones and down to 45-degree angles. I'm applying a folding process. You see here, guinea after cutting it at 45-degree angles. Hair scrolling technique. Starting from the shortest hair point, I'm sending a very light move, an E after E. The ends of the hair by applying the pictus technique, softening. Now I cut the right side, then I went to the left side. I'm going to cut the left side, but what am I doing here? My customer's hair later. I pass to your right, and after I pass to your right, my guide from the previous hair point I cut, taking guinea, with scrolling technique, from the shortest point, point here, point cut. By applying the point cutting technique, I continue my folding process. After cutting here, form a triangle again from the top of the hair. I make a distinction, and I take a guide to myself from left and right. Here is the hair from the hair points I cut before. After getting the guide, I sync according to that guide, so the hair. Here is bob stretching forward. And we have created a layered design. Yes, here. You see, after creating a triangle separation from the peak point like I'm adjusting your shortness. This will be my guide. And starting from the back, I separate the hair slice by slice and guide on this apex. As you can see by following there all over, I take a guide from a peak in each slice, and in accordance with this guide, applying point cutting technique, I'm synchronizing. That is, the length of the guide at the top. Somehow only one that tall. I'm scanning the point towards the front of the hair exit, and after seeing my sheath extension, applying point cutting technique, I continue the haircut, as you can see from both sides. After cutting the guinea from a peak, guinea the same way, and as I did in the front, I created a horizontal separation, a triangular form on the top, appeared, and I'm scanning this peak, and the hair point one cut before. So after determining the hair length, same size point cutting technique, that is point, with cutting technique, I cut and. Then I continue to the back by creating an vertical separation again in the part of, and comb the hair in the direction of exit, and determining the hair from the shortest point on the peak, and point, cutting technique, that is, with the point cutting technique. Now I continue my cutting. So let me give the hair texture here. I apply hair folding, neither too busy nor too little. After doing the folding process, then F-file, auger with scissors, starting from the front parts of the hair with the technique. I'm creating the auger, end parts of the hair. I apply a light thinning process. Here for a more homogeneous transition of hair. And to make the transitions more beautiful, language piece by piece. Auger I twist the hair by applying a hair technique. I compress the hair and the ends of the hair. With money scissors, that is, with F-file scissors. I apply a thinning process. Here the transitions of the hair are more beautiful, and our model hair allows you to use it more comfortably. As you can see, the front of the hair is long, and the back is short and moving. That is, in two models of lop and layered hair design. We created a mixed design. You also like my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will be with you with new videos. I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you.
Hello friends, today, lightweight curtain, bangs, hair design. I will explain in detail how to do this. First, your hair is basic. I applied your distinctions. Then I cut the length of the hair. Here is your hair, E, by combing from behind while cutting the basic neck, with sharp line cutting technique by forming a straight line. Is straight one cut, I cut the back part, then cutting the sides in the same way as cutting the back section. The same technique I used. E, I also apply it to the E section on the left, from the hair point we cut before on the back. The guide we received. E, following on the sides. I cut them all the same size. After cutting the left side, I go to the right side. Right side in two pieces in one step, by taking one pinch from the hair point I cut before. The pinch over there is my guide, because one previous EA hair point, I cut it that size. Since it will be a guide of that size, I will cut it to the same size. I follow my guide, and we cut all the hair the same length. Our customer's E model E hair length. I apply one cut straight to medium size, starting from the front of the hair. First curtain on the front parts, and other parts of the light folded. We apply a moving haircut design. There will be no very busy floors. Front part, folding when making curtain cardamom from the finishing line of the eyebrow, E to the front part. I create a triangle 1 distinction by creating a purchase pattern from the end of the eyebrows to form the EE triangle in the front. By creating create a full triangle pattern. I apply folding process starting from the front part while cutting the E section on the right. I'm going to the left. For me to capture an angle of 45 degrees more comfortably, I'm going to my customer's left, and from the left side E hair with a 45 lira combing angle. Beautiful. 1. I start the curtain frame design by folding. First I cut the right side. While cutting the right side, I pass to the left side of my customer. Here E. Diagonal to the back to create folding to the back, creating a cross distinction. Hair on the front. Scanning here, guinea cross with one scan style. Combing the hair to one single one point. Hereby creating a sharpening cutting technique, and this is in the front while scanning a certain point. I guide the first pinch we cut. After seeing the guide size here, as you can see, with a net 1 cutting stroke, that is, with the sharpening cutting technique, I cut and comb the hair on the front. E, because I scanned at only one point, and when I scan the front, the back sides are long. Front sides get one fold view. Her hair is too dense here, E without folding and the length of the hair. By preserving, that is, folding the front parts of the hair, for the rear sides to provide one view without shortening. The front of the hair to a single point, that is, we cut it one ago. Curtain cardamom, E with hair length. And by applying E, scanning the front to a single point. E, I created one cutting process. And here the back parts of the hair are long, the front parts are folded. There are also flaws in the back, but there are not very dense flaws. After cutting the right side, I go to the left side. The same technique, I apply it on the left side too. So my customer. I pass to the right side of our customer while cutting the left side. And, while creating curtain bangs, comb the hair towards a certain point, and here I cut by applying one angle of 45 degrees. After providing this E again, towards the back E diagonal from the peak, so cross by creating one cross distinction up to the neck. This distinction we created, scanning to the front. After scanning, I scan to a certain point. I'm applying a 45 lira angle again, and the curtain I cut before one, cardamom hair E neck. Taking the guide so that paint. I'm scanning in one convenient way. I see my guide and I do cutting with one scissor stroke. Then two. I take the piece 2 guinea. I scan it towards the same front part. And here I comb the hair towards a single point. Hair, cut point. I take it as a guide. I scan and see your shortness there. And I cut the hair. I'm cutting it to a certain point here. For scanning and creating an angle of 45 grooves from above. Fold it towards the back because I cut it from the top. And longer one view of the backside. And shortening the length of the hair. Obstructing and movable fronts folded. A long look at the back we get. If you want to get a haircut like this. My channel. A video section. You can watch our other videos. So if you want to get a haircut. Social media addresses are available in the description section of my video. Reaching here, you can come to my salon and get haircutting service from me, or places in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü. Hope to see you. We will be with you with new videos. Take good care of yourself.
How to do a medium blunt haircut for you today. I will explain in detail. I'm creating the first profile separation your hair. From the middle part, starting up to the nape part. The straight separation we have separated, we say profile separation. Then I create a crown separation. Crown separation from one ear to one straight with the other ear. We say crown separation, friends. After creating this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. Then starting a haircut. One straight that I have separated from the nape part to the oxygen area. There is one horizontal distinction. I make this distinction and cut the length of the hair. The size I will cut here is our guide. And the basic length of the hair, 2 after friends cut this length. Using our comb as a ruler. 1 of our previous hair length as a guide. I cut the back part of the same size. The basic size we cut in this size. Aligning all levels, creating horizontal separation. We continue your haircut. Here properly comb our comb. I comb the hair according to the natural direction of fall of the hair. Sharp horse cutting technique. Using our comb as a ruler. Specific one. By guiding the hair point we cut before. Straight our hair 1. We cut on line. After cutting the back, the left and right sides are the same. We will equal the hair length we cut on the back. If you want to get a haircut like this, social media in the description part of the video, my addresses will be available. By reaching my hall from there, you can get haircut service and other hairdressing services. Our place is in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü. By appointment, you can come to my salon and get a haircut service. Here, after cutting the back part of our hair length, I come to the left side of the hair and the other part I reserved. In 2 levels. The hair size we cut on the back as a guide. The left side is also flat 1. I cut it into a line. And straight 1 view to sharp line cutting technique. To get, I apply 1 straight cut. After cutting this section in 2 stages. After cutting the left side section, I go to the right side. I'm cutting this place in 2 stages. Stage 1. Cutting helps the hair to disperse more homogeneously. And it helps the hair to get a better 1 look. Here again between fingers. Applying straight and sharp line cutting technique. With straight scissor strokes. 1 I cut the previous point as a guide. Front of the hair. I separated it from the eyebrow levels to accelerate the tissue. In the front, from the
Baş
eyebrow level with our
hizasından
comb from the
saçın
eye point of two eyebrows
noktasından
E,
tarağımızla
by
alın
creating a
motifi
purchase motif,
oluşturarak
front of the
saçın ön
hair,
kısmına
I give
doku
texture and to get a
kazandırıyor ve
folded one
katlı
look.
bir görünüm elde etmesi için
With
45
45
çeşit
degree
açılar
angles,
ile
I'm
saç
applying a
kesimi
haircut.
uyguluyorum.
With these
Bu 45
45
derecelik
degree
açılarla
angles, I apply
saçın ön
folding
kısımlarına
process to the front
katlandırma
parts of the
işlemi
hair
uyguluyorum ve
and helps
daha
it look more
hareketli
mobile.
görünmesine yardımcı oluyor.
This is
Bu da
100 lines of hair,
saçın
100 lines.
yüz hattının sert
Softening hard
köşelerini
corners
yumuşatarak
helps to
daha
get more oval
oval
one
bir
image.
görüntü elde etmesine yardımcı oluyor.
You are the
Sizler de
style
bu
one.
tarz bir saç
If you
kesimi
want to get a
yaptırmak
haircut,
isterseniz
in the
videomun
description part of my
açıklama
video,
kısmındaki
you can
sosyal
reach me
medya
on my social
adreslerinden
media
bana
addresses.
ulaşabilirsiniz.
You can get
Salonuma
a
direkt
haircut
saç
service by
kesim
going to my
hizmeti
salon.
alabilirsiniz.
Don't forget to
Videomu
like my
beğenmeyi
video and
ve
subscribe to my
kanalıma
channel.
abone olmayı unutmayın.
I will be
Yeni
with you
videolarla
with new
sizlerle
videos.
olacağım.
Hope to see
Görüşmek
you.
dileğiyle.
To you today, one straight and smooth haircut with shaver. How to do it, I will explain it in detail. First, while cutting our model's E hair, all straight in one way, we blow dry. After blowing, one comb bottom, one comb of hair on top. We lock from two sides. After locking, the shaver at 0 degrees. Bring it to the end point, to the point we will cut, and with a shaver, using our comb as a ruler, and we shave starting from the right. We will apply one straight cut. Very easy with this kind of operation. We can do straight one cut, but I would like to express it. When we make a straight one cut with a shaver, the ends of the hair will be fluffy and plump. One such haircut. If you are satisfied with E, you can make such a cut. Yes, it is also the easiest as a straight cut. One of the cuts made. This style is easy. Haircut where you can get fractures on the ends. Straight from the back with a razor. When viewed, you can get one straight image. If you want to get a haircut like this, in the description part of my video, reaching me from my social media addresses, coming to my hall, you can get a haircut. As you can see, comb E first a comb. I compressed a comb from the bottom, and I brought it to the extreme of the shaver. 0 degree with no adjustment. E and I cut it with a machine. Then again, I tilted our customer's head forward and the bottom one. I have also collected the little hair. Straight one haircut as you can see. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I will be with you with new videos. Hope to see you. Goodbye.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're peeling back the layers on something really specific, actually. It's highly technical, maybe a bit unexpected. We're looking at the engineering, you could say, of a really masterful haircut. And we're not really talking about fashion trends here. This is more about, well, geometry, blueprints, how absolute precision can actually deliver a kind of fluidity.
That's exactly right. We've got this detailed step-by-step technical guide for really complex blended hair design. And it combines three specific things. You've got a sharp, straight base cut, then those very popular curtain bangs, the paire de caco, and then finally integrating some subtle movement through layering, but very controlled layering.
Okay, so our source material sounds less like a style mag and more like, I don't know, an architect's plan. It details the exact separation lines, the cutting angles, the finishing stuff. So our mission here is basically to decode that blueprint. We want to understand how this really rigid, almost mathematical structure underneath leads to a look that, for you listening, seems completely soft, natural, and flowing. It's like the shortcut to understanding that design precision.
Yeah, you really have to see it as a project. And, well, any good project starts with a solid foundation, doesn't it?
Okay, right. Let's get into that foundation then. Before any scissors come out, the hair needs to be organized. You said the whole design is kind of dictated by just a few key separation lines. How does the guide tell us to, like, map out the head?
Well, what's really interesting here is how the manual immediately sets up perfect symmetry, and it does it using just two essential straight divisions. Think of it like setting coordinates on a map of the skull. These two lines create four perfect mirror sections, and these sections govern every single step that follows.
Okay, just two straight lines organize the whole thing. What are they?
So the first one is called the profile separation. This basically dictates the left-right balance. It's a perfectly straight line running right from the start of the forehead at the hairline straight down the middle all the way to the nape. It makes sure that whatever you do on the left side gets mirrored exactly on the right. Simple, but critical.
And the second line, I assume that defines the front and back, where the different parts of the cut are going to happen.
Precisely. That's the crown separation. This one runs straight across the top of the head, connecting one ear right across the crown to the other ear. So once you've got the hair divided by both the profile and the crown separations, you've broken down all that complexity into four manageable symmetrical quadrants. It's really the proof that this haircut is first and foremost a structured design. It's pure geometry.
Right. That structure makes sense because the first big job is setting the length in the base. We need that clean, straight cut, the dusas kizimi in the back. Now, the usual problem with the straight cut, as you know, is it can look really heavy or chunky or what stylists sometimes call mold-like. So how do you get that sharp, clean line without the hair just looking like a solid block?
Okay, so you start the back, right? And you establish the base length using horizontal sections. These are called yate arimlar. This is where the precision really kicks in. The source says to use a very sharp, clean technique, sometimes called a sharp cutting technique, using straight scissor cuts. The idea is to get maximum visual density, maximum sharpness, right at that bottom edge.
But hang on, that sounds exactly like the recipe for that heavy blunt look we're trying to avoid. If you cut all the hair in the back like that, won't it just fall heavily?
Yes, that's the core tension, isn't it? And that's exactly why this idea of gradual cutting becomes maybe the single most important detail here. The source is really insistent that the cut must be done in gradual steps. They call it kanemeli bishakilde.
So instead of taking one big chunk horizontally, you break it down into smaller bits.
You break it down, often into, say, 3 or maybe 4 really thin horizontal stages. The first thin section you cut acts as the perfect guide the clavus for the next thin layer of hair just above it. You're essentially building that straight line, but from the bottom up, layer by tiny layer.
Okay, wait, why? Why is that gradual way so necessary? What's the actual physics behind cutting thin sections versus thick ones?
Right. The reason is critical. It's all about controlling density and making sure it falls evenly, homogeneously.
Yeah.
If you try to cut too much hair at once, the weight and just the different tension across that thick section makes it fall unevenly. And worse, it creates what the source calls that kalupjibi effect, that heavy mold-like block that just doesn't move. By cutting in these gradual thin steps, you let the weight distribute nicely. It ensures that when the hair falls, it falls smoothly, keeps the sharp line visually, but still has some natural swing. It's about building a solid line, yeah, but respecting how hair actually behaves with weight.
That makes so much sense. That's the hidden difference, isn't it? Between an amateur straight cut and a professionally engineered one. It's all about managing weight, even when it looks like one simple line.
Exactly. So now we've got that rigid foundation set. Now we can move to the softer part, the face framing element.
This is where the curtain bangs come in. They're perde kakul. Okay, so this needs a specific shape right at the front. How is that defined?
The sectioning here is incredibly precise. You isolate the hair for the bangs using a triangular shape, ushin formunda 1 irum. That triangle starts right at the middle part, and it extends back towards that crown separation line we made earlier. But here's the crucial bit. The width of that triangle, where it starts at the front, must begin precisely at the start of the eyebrows. Kashin and bashnukdasandan.
Why exactly at the start of the eyebrows? What does that do?
That specific width makes sure the bangs frame the eyes and the cheekbones just right. Too narrow and the bangs look kind of weak. Too wide and they just take over the face. Okay, so once you've got that triangle isolated, the goal is to cut a line that creates a soft guide. It should align roughly with the cheekbones, maybe the tip of the nose. Elongated kemiklerin başlangıç burun noktasına. And you get this by cutting the hair at a 45-degree angle. That angle is key for the curve. Kavisli olması gerekiyor.
Right, the 45-degree angle. That's the classic for getting that soft, sweeping curve. But the manual mentions something surprising about how the stylist needs to stand. Body positioning.
Ah, yes. This is the kind of detail that makes this source so interesting. It's super practical. To hit that 45-degree angle comfortably and precisely and do it the same way every time, the stylist actually has to stand on the opposite side of the client.
The opposite side, that sounds completely backwards. Why would you do that?
It's purely about body mechanics. Think about it. If you're standing on the same side as the hair you're cutting, your arm and body are twisted, right? It's physically awkward to hold a perfect 45-degree angle and keep the tension steady. But if you step to the opposite side, like you're cutting the client's right bang, but you stand on their left, it creates a much more natural straight line for your cutting arm. It gives you maximum control, maximum accuracy over that crucial angle. It's almost like a physical requirement for technical perfection.
Wow. That really does make it sound more like sculpting than just cutting. The stylist's own body becomes part of the architecture. Okay, so we've got our sharp, straight base and our softly defined curtain bangs. The next challenge then is blending it all, adding movement, layering Katlanderma, but without losing the length we just carefully established.
Yes, this step is absolutely key to bridging that gap between the sharp base and the soft fringe. The layering has to be light, and like you said, it must preserve that baseline length. The technique here relies entirely on how you lift the projection.
Okay, how is the hair projected or lifted for this kind of layering? Not out, not down.
No, exactly. Instead, the hair is combed straight upwards, towards the ceiling, all of it. And the guide, the kalavuz that you use for this layering, is actually the shortest point that was created way back when we did the initial straight base cut at the nape.
Okay, let me picture this. If you pull a strand of hair from the very bottom of the nape, straight up over the top of the head, the hair closest to the scalp is now your guide, but the very ends of that strand, the bit that defines the actual length, are way up high, far from the scissors.
Exactly. You're using physics, really. Tension and angles. When you comb the hair straight up and cut it against that short guide from the nape, you're only trimming the very ends of the hair that actually reach that high point. This technique is called a fixed design line, in the source. By pulling everything straight up to that one fixed point, you guarantee that the lower sections of the length, the boy, remain long and basically untouched. Only the upper bits get lightly layered.
So the aim isn't really dramatic, obvious layers. It's more about just enough internal movement so the hair doesn't just hang there flat.
Precisely. And because it is a light layering process, hafifwan katlandama ishlami, the final shape of the hair isn't some drastic V or U shape in the back. It's designed so that when it falls naturally, it creates more of an oval shape, an oval bigurin too. It's about integrating internal volume and movement really seamlessly with the overall length.
Okay, so we've used the sharp straight cut, the careful 45-degree angle, and now this upward projection for the fixed design line. The main structural work seems done. But let's go back to that base cut for a second. We talked about its sharpness. That precision cutting, doesn't it inherently leave a really hard, maybe too clean edge? The final step must be about softening that up, right?
That is the absolutely critical final step,
Yeah.
yes. If we stopped right now, the hair would have that sharp line, maybe a hard look. A keskin one hat and a cert one gurntu. We definitely need to introduce softness, some texture, some naturalness, especially on the ends. This is the texturizing phase. Or inseltme, which means thinning.
Okay, texturizing. How does the technical guide suggest doing this final softening step?
It actually details a combination of 3 different methods, and crucially, they're applied only to the ends, not halfway up the hair shaft. They suggest using FL scissors, thinning shears, effilam akasila, also the twisting technique, burgu teknikidile, where you twist sections and snip into them, and point cutting, pikdash teknikle. These tools and techniques are all designed to break up those blunt lines we created, but without actually removing length.
Right. But thinning, if it's done badly, can be one of the most obvious mistakes, can't it?
Yeah.
You can sometimes see those horrible track marks or lines where the bulk was taken out.
Huh.
How does the guide make sure the thinning is, invisible?
This is probably one of the most advanced, subtle insights in the whole guide, I think. To prevent those telltale track marks, so it is yapmamasana saliorum, the stylist is specifically told to use zert asiler, that means different, opposing angles during the texturizing.
Opposing angles. What does that actually look like? How do you do that?
Well, think about it. If you just thin the hair using one consistent angle, like always cutting straight in, you're essentially creating a hidden straight line of shorter hair within the bulk. That's what shows. By approaching the hair from different angles, maybe one snip vertically, the next one horizontally, maybe the next diagonally into the twist, you make sure that the removal of weight is scattered, it's distributed invisibly through the ends. This variation in angle creates a much more staggered, diffused finish. You get that soft, natural look without leaving any harsh lines behind. It's the final technical touch to soften the rigidity we spent so much time building.
Wow. This has been quite the journey, a real masterclass in seeing hair design as basically applied physics and geometry. We started with just two straight lines, the profile and the crown to map the head. Then we moved through that gradual straight cut to control the weight, the opposite side 45-degree stance for the perfect curtain bang, then the upward projection using the fixed design line for invisible layers, and finally, this multi-angle texturizing to soften the whole thing.
And we've seen how this blended design can actually be really versatile. It works for fine hair, thick hair, long, medium, precisely because every single step is controlled by this kind of geometric calculation. The result is a structure that's adaptable. It's not just stiff.
It really is amazing how much meticulous planning, how much structure goes into creating a look that is ultimately supposed to appear just effortlessly natural. So if we step back from all the details of this deep dive, that's the final, maybe provocative thought we should leave our listener with as they think about this blueprint.
I think the real paradox we've uncovered is kind of the heart of the whole design. This really beautiful, soft flowing aesthetic, the kind that looks like maybe the client just woke up with perfect natural hair. It's entirely dependent on the rigidity of the structure underneath it all. The whole process hinges on these meticulously planned geometric sections. Those profile and crown divisions, the precise triangular fringe, the fixed design line, the perfect 45-degree angles. If you compromise that underlying structure at any point, you actually compromise the final movement and softness. So in a way, the rigidity creates the fluidity. Maybe think about that the next time you see a hairstyle that looks completely effortless. Chances are it took an incredible amount of hidden structure, maybe even some math to get there.
Hello friends, to you today. Bob Haircut. I will explain in detail how the design is made. We divide our model into 4 main sections while Bob Haircut. Profile separation as the first main part. Profile separation 1. Starting from the middle of the eyebrow to the straight separation we have separated until the profile end. Separation 2. Separation crown separation. From one other ear to the other ear. We have separated. We call the straight line the crown separation. With this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. After separating 4 main sections, starting from the nape part, we will cut the hair in 4 stages. The back part first. Sharpening cutting technique. We will determine the length of the hair, which is the first stage with Guinea's sharpening cutting technique after determining the height. En sedan, sharpen. Cutting the section. After revealing the length of your hair, this dye is suitable in one way, progressively to the hair at 45-degree angles. We will apply a haircut, what we call gradation bob cut on the back, that is, the hair, to add movement and volume to the back of the hair to provide natural 1E transition. Folding. We will apply a folding process with 45-degree angles. Your hair in the first place, at an angle of 0 degrees to determine his height. Hair. We determine the neck from the nape part. This is the basis of the hair. We determine the length of the hair. Hair is second stage. We separate guinea horizontal. I create one distinction. And from the middle part of the hair, after creating horizontal separation, we'll create a distinction. The hair point we cut from the bottom one by forming one angle of 45 degrees by taking guide. We continue our cut in this nape part, creating vertical separations. Nape part. I cut it at 45-degree angles. If you want to get a haircut like this, coming to my hall from me, you can get haircut service. Our hall is in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü. Social media addresses are available in the description section from here. Of my video. You can get hair cutting services and hairdressing services. Back part. With horizontal vertical separations. I keep cutting with a 45-degree angle. Here by separating the hair slice by slice. Cutting the stain piece by slice. And check the hair point we have cut before from the bottom. We continue our cutting, as you can see on the back, creating light coats in hair. So we call bomber, make the hair look beautiful, and we ensure that the back of the hair is folded. We created the second distinction. First division was a straight division, second division, and third division third distinction. Hair at 45-degree angles to the guinea. According to output direction, we create a 90-degree separation and the hair comes out. Direction after. We also create a 45-degree angle as a cut. When forming the 45-degree angle, the hair point we cut first. We continue as a guide, friends. This distinction with the hair points we cut before. We continue our process by combining. If you want to watch my other videos, my channel. There are many categories of videos in the video section. By reaching here, you can also watch my other videos, as you can see. Forming distinctions and at an angle of 45 degrees. From the inside out. We continue our haircut by creating layers. Here I fold the back of the hair as a basis first. And in the next process, your hair. On the left and right sides. Equating each other. We create our bob haircut design. We're coming to the tray part. Tray, as you can see. After coming to the part of the guinea vertical by creating a distinction. Bottom to top 45. Forming an angle of 45 degrees from inside to outside. I continue the haircut. For your information, I cut the hair by separating it slice by slice. As you can see, the gradient will form the 3 shape. At the back, layers formed and a beautiful image occurred. I come to the left part of the hair after cutting the back part, and from here creating a diagonal 1 distinction, a short on the back and short on the front, creating a light 45-degree angle that from the neck to the front light space, light ear pandgui, to get one extending view, with 45-degree finger grip. I keep making sure. Then I comb the hair back. The front part of the hair is a little longer because I combed it backwards. I will appear. Here I equate with the shortness in the back. And I keep getting certain. My finger grip here is slightly 45 degrees, not straight. Suitable for the slope of the hair. Suitable for the model of the hair. From the neck to the front. Light 45-degree angles with sharp horse cutting technique with finger grip. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke. After this cutting process is finished, I'm going to the other part. I'm going to the right guinea the same way. Left side. Well, the technique I applied is diagonal again. with cross separations. I comb the hair back to form. And by creating an angle of 45 degrees as a finger grip, with the clamp on the back, the length of the front, equalizing by creating a 45-degree angle. Here I comb the hair slightly backwards. And after scanning the front part slightly backwards, again with a 45-degree angle, I continue the haircutting process. Here is the appearance of your hair from the neck to the short front. To achieve a slightly elongated one appearance, graduation bob here. We can also describe it as cutting, folded back to the front. One haircut with lengthening transitions. We create the process. You guys are bob haircut too. Other haircutting techniques, also from the subject. So if you want to get a haircut, you can come to my salon and get service from me. Our place is in Istanbul Beylikdüzü. Yes, the front of the hair. Want to add some movement. In the front. Suitable for natural separation. I made the distinction and I'm separating. And by doing the heel control, stretching forward from the nape part, I will create a 45-degree angle again. I created the distinction here from the top part. Do we have a mistake or not? We will check it and get it from the neck. At an angle of 45 degrees, to come from short to long. I equalize the hair as you can see the top distinction. I'm creating a distinction from the joke parts with one address. And after creating the adenolar distinction again, from the shortest point, I see the hairline we cut on the back. Our guide 1 hair point we cut before. After cutting this point, creating an angle of 45 degrees, I continued cutting. After doing this, friends, your hair, to the hair to ensure their transition, I will apply blocking. So hard appearance on 3 parts of the hair, more natural than transitional to achieve one. To get the pass, I use E-file scissors to get, that is, 1 scissors of hair that we call intermediate scissors, separating it gradually as if cutting it again. Starting from the neck, I will apply thinning to the hair. As you can see here, I separated the hair from the first point I cut, and her hair is 45 degrees Guinea, hereby creating an angle, cross point. So I apply thinning to the hair with the cutting technique. I'm not hitting a straight scissor blow, but a diagonal E way. I pass the hair by applying scissor blows. Don't thin the hair as you can see here. Go to the process hair. I'm applying the pictus technique to the hair here. Thinning the ends of the hair, not the bottoms of the hair. End parts of the hair. Providing their transitions. Your hair is more homogeneous. Begin. To provide passage, I applied a thinning process. This process, after applying it, by applying one beautiful blow-dry process to the forming process, we will not have completed the E-hair design of our model. Friends, you too. If you like my video, don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our videos are watched more and more every day, and our channel is getting bigger every day. For watching my video and subscribing to my channel, thank you so much. See you with one new video. Take good care of yourself. Hope to see you. I wish you a good day. See you soon.
Hello friends, to you today, Bob Haircut Decode. I will explain in detail how it is done. Our model's hair is E short here, starting from the width and with a light one diagonal E angle. There will be one bob haircut model that grows slightly forward. It won't be too extreme. First, we start with basic distinctions when cutting. Our first basic distinction is profile separation. Profile separation. From the beginning of the forehead, starting straight as one line, until the end of the neck, of the occipital region straight line to the end. We say profile separation, creating our first profile distinction. After creating a profile separation too, the distinction of the crown separation is also one. From ear to ear, head to the end start and end to the endo. The distinction we create, we call it crown separation. Crown separation. To separate our guinea comb. Guinea start from here. Starting from the starting point of the back. From the point it touches. As you can see, I'm starting to distinguish from this point from the exact peak point. This is already at the point where the crown separation occurs automatically, forming these distinctions the basic distinctions of hair. We divide the hair into 4 main sections. When you make these distinctions one on your next haircut, our model is the same. Perfectly. You can cut. 2. Our model is It will be to determine the hair length. We will separate our guide from the first nape part here. Our model's head while cutting her first hair. Very little forward. We want to give bird. From the enzyme part, I created one horizontal line. And now here we will create the guide of our hair. Our guide is important to us. Guide means the starting point of the hair. And continue after creating this cutoff point. The hair point we will. You can also specify shorter if you want. Longer if you want. As your own preference. You can determine the length yourself with your customer. We are here our model is fuller. For your hair to be. I will determine one shortness according to him. And we will continue in that short. Just like that. Your hair. Reverse exits here. Here in 3 parts. Reverse exits on the neck. Based if you cut. It would be much better for you. When you cut here. Then and when you blow dry or. So when you comb the hair. Lines here your hair. In shaping. Provides great influence. These. It will be much better if you cut it with your eyes. I also took these exits into account. I will check and cut accordingly. Here while cutting. Using my comb as a ruler and I cut it at an angle of 0 degrees. First I'll finger this comb 6. Sharp horse cutting technique we call one. I will apply with technique. This angle is 0 degrees. Yeah Berta yeah. You can also cut between fingers. But if you want to cut 0 degrees without any angle, so too. You definitely need to apply comb 6 hair cutting technique. Even when you cut it with a finger. You give one angle. Straight cut here. You think you did it, but even your finger. Light has 1 millimeter one angle. You need to consider this too. Of course in wavy hair, according to the structure of the hair 100/100ths. We can't comb 6 haircuts. That's why you know straighter hair. Comb 6 according to the direction of exit of the hair. Combing. Here I cut according to the natural fall of the hair. Here using my comb like a ruler. I'm starting to conclude. I created a guide for myself from the middle part here. As you can see this guide. The left and right sides are the same. I will cut at the same level. My error rate is 0 here too. Because I use my comb like a ruler. Yes too. I'm going to the stage. I'm creating one horizontal distinction in Guinea. What a thick distinction here. How thin you can cut one way. Without making mistakes. When you progress gradually, hair is uniformly distributed. Either scissors nor scissors on the hair. Your rate of making mistakes is very low. Now we are giving an angle to the hair in the second level, friends. Here with my finger. I'll give you a 45-degree angle here. Horizontal 45-degree. I cut by creating an angle. To create this angle, Telugu, I scan by holding it from the bottom and, according to our guide here, we see our guide cut at the bottom. As you can see, and I touch my little finger now. The angle here is 45 degrees. It's an angle, friends. Space here. I look from here I see my guide and our guide. A beginning of the beginning. I cut it this size after seeing it. Here's a little bit of the nape of the hairy. We are doing a folding process. This is ear hair is more stingy fuller, and this. An expression we call bomb. To create it, a technical friend we applied. Combing the hair at its own angle. Looking down with my finger. I'm worth it after seeing this angle. I cut with sharp horse cutting technique. Here you are progressing gradually. I cut one from the right section. Now I will cut from the left section. Same way. I see my sword as you see from the bottom again, and I'm looking from the neck. I'm cutting. Because we made an angle cut here. We'll check again later, guys. After cutting, there may be slight lengths on the right and left. Repeat it. Use it as a ruler with a comb and a guy. I'm cutting. Now we are entering our third distinction, guinea horizontal. We make a distinction. We will create one vertical distinction from the middle part a guy. I always start from the middle part, friends, haircut, because this is my guide. We distribute our guide evenly. And here we are, because we are progressing gradually. Our rate of making mistakes is very low. My finger a guy. I touch it from the bottom and cut 45 holes horizontally. After creating, with sharp horse cutting technique, I'm cutting. I'm scanning. Here I see my guide from the bottom of it. Guide is very important, guys. You see with the guide here, I see the hair point I passed before like. My guide from here, I see my guide at the bottom. And your hair according to this guide. Scanning by direction of fall. I see my sword and I continue with the cut. I will do this in the same way on the right side. Head of our model. Thought after setting. Always while cutting hair here. With our model, we need to be on the same plane. We need to look in the same direction. I'm scanning. I see my guide from the bottom here. As you can see, this is also while cutting hair. If you get as much hair as your finger again, your rate of making mistakes will be very low. I'm scanning after seeing my guide. And I see my guide here from that Virgo point. And after seeing our guide below, again at an angle of 45 TL, I'm cutting. Now friends 3. After cutting our territory, we have passed the occipital regio. Here after opening the ledge, we have come to the top. In the E section here, we will add a little more volume to the hair. And we will apply a folding process. Here your hair. Both busy and to give a more beautiful one look. We also change our angle. Here we are applying horizontal 45 hole angles. When we get to this top, we will continue our haircut with vertical 45 hole angles. We give the head of our model forward light. Here we create one vertical distinction. From the neck again, after creating our separation, we take guide. According to this guide one, we will create a haircut. Yes friends, as you can see, at the bottom of our previous cut, to the occipital area, we applied horizontal 45-degree angles. Now after moving to the occipital area, we continue our cutting with vertical 45-degree angles. Here is our guide to the exit direction of the hair. While scanning here, hair my comb. I place it at the bottom and, without playing it the way I placed it, I comb and here we see the direction of the hair coming out. After scanning this, after seeing our guide, creating a straight 45-degree angle, we continue our cut. As you can see here, I created a 45-degree angle. Too many floors above and lighter below one. Arc formed. As you can see here, one light texture. So from the inside out one, we have done the folding process. Here we will cut the hair slice by slice with the technique of slicing. First slice, second slice. 3 as slice. Even for in my tongue. We will cut it on my tongue. I'm touching my comb. Here I see the stone point I cut before one. As you see my guide, we always follow our guide. And from the inside out, with the sharpening cutting technique, that is, with the straight scissors free, we continue our cut here. 90 degrees towards the exit direction of the hair one. I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. When I quit because I cut it lightweight. We create one haircut with curved and textured. One slice from the hair point we passed before. We take parts. He is our guide. Ow for the front to be slightly long. Guinea this piece. A little further back, not according to the direction of hair exit. I will cut by scanning correctly. The previous guide. Compatible. I see my guide here. I'm catching a 45 TL angle. And I continue to cut. I'm scanning the same way a guy. 45 degrees by diagonal, one distinction from the bottom. I cut the right side now. I will go to the left side. Same way a guy. This is now so 5 minutes 10:10. It's a 15-minute job, but let's cut it off by telling, huh? Ha! Thank you. Writing yes. A guy. One, I get it from the hair point one cut before. As the second. I touch my comb on the skin of the hair and comb. I scan, and after seeing my guide at the bottom, I see a 45-degree angle. Here is the previous hair point, as you can see here. This is our guide, our starting point. This is our end point. As you can see, this hair on this line, we combine in the same way. Thanks from below. Now the process of folding this vertex. We applied the texture. Ow on the side. E this diagonal E by creating one distinctio. And slightly cross so diagonal one view. Cross to get one view. To achieve one hair design that grows forward. We go to the side. From this starting point, I create a diagonal one downwards. So I create a cross one distinction downwards. Horizontal a guy. Like the head of our model. Back and to the side. We give. Out here. Important factor. Hair. That's right ear. To come behind. Separating. Part from the bottom part from the top one way. Why am I doing this here? Friends, the ear bulge here. E when I cut it properly one way. E if I cut this ear bulge directly from the top like this. What would happen when I blow dry or when our customer uses it? One trapezoid will appear here. Could be. Because you have to adjust this angle accordingly. First from the back. Combing according to the direction of hair fall. We will determine our line, that is, we will determine our guide. Here's our comb guy. From a starting point here. We adjust according to the end point. This is how we tilt the head of our model to the side. Because when we give the angle here, we can work comfortably. Yes, as you can see here, light one downwards. Cross one E angle formed, guys. The angle here is a 45-degree angle to the guinea. Creating this angle. And so from the starting point here, by the end point, we will continue here. We use our comb like a ruler. And you get one view that stretches slightly forward here. We will do the same on the right guy. As you can see from the bottom of the hair. I lift up. I'm scanning down. E a cross separation from the starting point here. I cut the hair at an angle of 45 degrees. I comb the hair according to the fall of the hair. I'm scanning down. I'm creating one arc downwards, as you can see. And I keep cutting. Hair here. Using my comb as a ruler, we get one view that extends slightly forward. We're at the top, guys. The guinea on the hill is the same, and bulky and plump to get one look. This time again towards the exit direction of the hair. We will get one view that stretches forward at 45 degrees. Yes. Berta, yes. Friends, to get one heart stretching forward. Here is stage 1, second stage, and third stage 3. We will cut the top part of the step. Here we cut hair by combining. I touch my hair comb to the bottom of the hair and the exit directio. Scanning at a 90-degree angle. I'm scanning upwards. And here is the finger. As you can see my hand forming a 45-degree angle. In a 45 here, I'm creating a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees according to the place of hair. I also cut it at an angle of 45 degrees as a cut. Here we see our sword. OT the same way. We touch our comb of hair to the bottom of the hair here. E to make a flatter one E cut. And to determine the direction of output. Here is the direction of the hair. Your hair is not up and down. From the point our comb touched. Clear comb to adjust the output directio. We touch down. And we scan upwards. And in the process after this SCA, we see our guide as you see. The point we cut before. 90 degrees according to the direction of hair output, 90 degrees. 45 degrees as cut. Here is one angle of 45 degrees. Upwards. I'm cutting. I'm touching my comb according to the exit directio. I create one angle of 90 degrees. And after seeing our guide, 45 degrees 1. Inity 8 forming angle for 5-1. I'm applying a haircut. Out here guinea. E we will create one horizontal distinctio. after creating this horizontal separation, according to the direction of hair, at an angle of 45 degrees, we will get one view that stretches forward. Friends, starting from the top, I'm creating one vertical distinction, a guy. Here, so I cut the first stage. I'm taking the second stage. I'm leaving a section here. I take our customer's head upright. And from here, when I get my guide from the point I cut before. You always need to get the guide, guys. If you proceed according to the guide, you never make mistakes. Touching my comb, and I scan upwards. I create a 90-degree angle according to the exit direction. And here, after seeing my cover, I'm creating a 45-degree angle, as you can see. 90 degree to 45 degree. And I get one piece here. From the point I cut again, and I give our customer's head backwards. I'm scanning here, after touching it upwards. I see my guide, and at a 45-degree angle, I continue. Same guinea after cutting here. Starting with that joke girl one. We make the distinction, guys. And this month's episode is the same. Here 3 levels, 1, 2, 3, here 3 levels. 1 to 3, so we will cut them all into 3 sections. I'm scanning here. Here per our customer, per our hand model. We touch our comb, we comb upwards. And after seeing our guide, 45, we create a degree angle, 90 degree to 45 degree. We cut. I cut the first stage and bought one piece here. This will be my guide. And I'm taking part 2. I'm scanning. I see my guide from the beginning, and I cut it. And I get one piece here. I create a 90-degree angle according to the output of the hair. And from here I see my guide and cut it. Yes, from Guinea Hill. I'm creating a vertical separation. I'm touching here. I'm scanning. You see, I saw my guide like, and in accordance with my guide, I'm cutting. I'm buying one piece here. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I'm touching, I'm scanning upwards. He's not his head like that, yeah. After adjusting the shower posture angle, I'm scanning upwards. As you can see, I saw our guide, and guide. I cut it appropriately at a 45-degree angle. I'm buying one piece here too. As the last stage, again in this lower part and what we call our sweeping technique, I comb your hair in accordance with the natural direction of fall. The head of our model, I give it sideways. Starting from the nape part a guy. I'm scanning. As you can see, I have a guide here, conveniently extending slightly downwards. To get a look from short to long one view. Yes. I also apply the link. Bird. Guinea. The part we cut on the left is the same way. We will apply it on the right side. I comb the hair according to its natural direction. We created the distinction here. The head of our customer's model. I'm setting. Taking into account the ear bulge over there. You can do it like this. If you want, you can cut it when you cut it like this. When you cut between fingers, make sure the ledge here. You have to take it into account that we cut it by touching it. Let's stop like this. I'm going to have a fight. It's over. Yes, friends, our model is like this, you see. Like the back. Layered curved forward extending. One hair decig. Bob haircut, our bob haircut design that stretches forward.
Hello friends, how to make a bob haircut that stretches forward to you today. I will tell you in detail. First, show the long hair of our Model 1. I cut it down. I take this long density straight and create distinctions of our model. I will create a profile distinction as the first distinction profile separation from the beginning of my forehead. Straight one, you have separated to the end of the neck. Separation profile separation. We say, friends, after creating this distinction, the second distinction is also crown separation, also one by ear. In the separate distinction, we have separated until the other ear. While separating this coronation, we put our comb from the beginning of the guinea forehead and the point where your back touches. We create the distinction. Here is an easy one discrimination technique. You can also apply this crown separation and my profile to divide the hair into 4 main sections. Is the technique we have applied. Very comfortable in this technique one way. You can cut the hair into pieces. After creating this distinction from the nape part, to form the basis of hair 1, we create horizontal separation. This will be our guide, so your hair is short. We will determine your height here from the nape part by creating one horizontal distinction, starting from the middle part of the hair 1. I create vertical separation, and the part of the hair we will cut. Finger sharp horse cutting technique. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke. After cutting I align the left side section in the same way. Then I align the section on the right in the same way. Here's the back part. Straight one sharp line cutting technique. I applied the cutting process. I determined the length of the hair here, and the next layer of 1 guinea horizontal one. I separate by creating a distinction. After creating this distinction, the guinea, from the middle part, I create one vertical separation starting from 1. The hair size we cut before. After seeing it from the bottom by aligning, I cut it and the bottom is the same. I cut it straight one way. Here after forming the basis of the hair. Your hair. Folding process to other parts. I will apply in the next section 1. I will create your angles. Yes, friends. Here I separate it from forward again. Forward, our customers head forward, 1 From the bottom after applying. E1 I determine it with the hair die I cut before, and cutting process. I'm applying it here. I'm determining the length of the hair. Clear one way. After cutting the same size. Then creating a distinction again. I will apply the folding process. I determined the length of the hair here. And light on hair. I will gain texture. Now I'm going to split it in half again. And nape guinea 1. This time by creating one horizontal distinction. Hair vertical, 45-degree angles. It gives texture to the back of the hair. The first technique we cut is to determine the length of the hair. I determined the length of the hair here. And now, as you can see, applying one angle of vertical 45 degrees, I will cut your hair first from the hair point I cut. Here, according to the exit direction of 90 hair. 130730 degree 1 angle. I'm lifting your hair up. I cut it, then I will create one vertical distinction. Here I see the hair spot I cut before. I'm cutting now. I'm creating one vertical distinction here. And 45 degree 1 from the hair point I cut, creating an angle. Hair cutting continues. As you can see, I determined the hair and I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. Here, we will create a slight bump on the back of the hair. So we will provide one light transition with folding process. I cut the left side. Now the right side is the same, forming 45-degree vertical, 145-degree angle. I cut the hair gradually by separating it one way. And one in the next section. In the same way with a vertical 45-degree angle by seeing the hair point we cut before. Same way. I create the angle after a 45-degree angle. Point cutting technique. I cut with cutting technique. I created a horizontal angle of 145 degrees here. I see the hair from the hair point I cut before. Here with the point cutting technique. I'm cutting then. At an angle of 45 degrees, I continue my cutting process again. Your guinea hair on the top one, seeing the hair point I cut before, at an angle of 45 degrees, with point cutting technique. With the point cutting technique, I continue my cutting process. I went to the left side of the hair. On the left side of the hair, a guinea, I created one horizontal separation and suitable for hair length on the nape. With a slight 45-degree angle on the sides, in the front of your hair. Short forward from the neck one, to get the image. Forward at a 45-degree angle. I continue my cutting process. And the second stage at the top of the hair. With hair length, that is, at an angle of 45 holes. By giving texture. I continue the cutting process, guys. Hair length at the peak here. Based on. I continue the cutting process. Okay. After cutting the left side, the right side is the same. Front of the neck to get a long one look. Point the hair forward as a guide, with finger grip at an angle of 45 degrees. I continue the hair cutting process. We get one view that stretches from the neck to the front. After passing the second stage, diagonal, I made one distinction, and peak hair length as a guide. I continue the hair cutting process with 45 kinds of angles. I apply point cutting technique from here. As you can see, point cutting technique. Here, I comb the hair backwards, and your hair. I make it get one long view towards the front. Now dividing the hair from the peak into two main sections. I will continue the cutting process. I separated the hair in the middle. Right and left. I separated one part from the peak, Her hair is 90 degrees. I lifted it up with one angle and form a 45-degree angle from the end. I continued with the haircut. Then hair, the second part, in the same way. I lifted it at a 90-degree angle toward the exit direction upwards. And as a cut, I created a 45-degree angle. 90-45, so 90 degrees, I lift it at a right angle. I cut the tip at a 45-degree angle. As you can see here, the front of the hair is long, back short and curved one way. Story one way. I gave the appearance. Doing my last count checks. Here is our customer's head. We bend slightly, and I check with a comb. Then I scan backwards. In the nape part, by checking with hair length, I continue to cut. Left side. After applying the right side in the same way. Scanning backwards. With the short in the nape part. Long section in the front. Forming a 45-degree angle by balancing. I continue to cut. As you can see, the front was long. Backs are shorter and curved one way. Layered textured gaining one-y look. I continue to cut. Right and breadth. I'm checking. Ahum, here our haircut is over. By forming one rivety bangs on the front of the hair. We will get a short one look on the front of the hair, and we will finish our transaction. Here, your hair is from eyebrow level. Distinction triangle 1 by creating a distinction eye reception. By creating the motif, I will make one distinction from the front of the hair, creating one straight bangs. I will make it get one beautiful look. Burden. Calculating the E-gap of the nose while cutting the bangs. Again with the point cutting technique, that is, with the point cutting technique. I'm starting the haircut. And the hair slightly upwards. I gain one light bomb by scanning the side. If you want to watch my next videos too, in the videos section of my channel. You can also watch many kinds of incisions videos. So haircut coloring, ombre balayage, perm bun design. I have many categories of videos from there too. You can watch my other videos. My channels, if you want to be aware of new videos. Don't forget to activate the notification bell. From my new videos, activate the notification bell to be notified, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would be very pleased if you like my video. One next if you like my video. Many people will have watched my video too. Many people will have watched this video thanks to you. Your likes are very important, and if you subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our audience will grow more. I wanted to show you the latest version. As you can see, the back is long towards the front. Our bob haircut design occurred. If you want to get a haircut like this, by reaching me on social media and coming to my hall, you can get haircut service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you with one new video. Take good care of yourself. See you. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm with you with a new video. To you today, how to do blunt haircut. I will explain it in detail. First, we make profile separation. Profile separation your neck from the beginning of your forehead. We applied until the end. We call the straight line profile separation. If the second E distinction. E. Crown separation from one ear to the other. We also apply this distinction. When we apply this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. We make a straight distinction from the back again. After separating the 4 main sections, hair gradually starting from the neck, with sharp horse cutting technique. Her hair here, creating sharp lines, create a straight cut, and get a blunt look. Here with the comb 6 hair cutting technique. As you can see, comb with 6 hair cutting technique. We apply a straight cut E. Burden. We determine the length of the hair in the first level we cut. This size affects the whole course of your hair. And so this is our guide. By following this guide, we'll cut all the hair the same size. HH. If you want to watch my other videos too, my channel, I have many category videos in the videos section. Guinea comb after cutting his neck. With hair cutting technique. As you can see, using my comb as a ruler and following the previous haircut height, I continue cutting on the same plane and cut in the same way as the second stage. I'm so sorry I went to this 3rd level. Guinea sweat left with hair cutting technique, using my comb as a ruler, using the spot where I cut my previous hair, and I continue my haircut. I continue my cutting by creating a straight line. Here, I use my comb in light color. Our hair color is darky. Comb haircut comb use is also very important. If you use a comb according to the color of the hair. Very comfortable in the cut You watch on the road. I recommend this to you as a footnote. As you can see, the hair point I cut before. Again using our comb as a ruler, we continue our haircut. Gradually separating the hair. Creating horizontal separations. And sharp horse cutting technique with straight scissor stroke. Using our comb as a ruler. We will get a blunt look. We use our comb like a ruler. And we continue our cutting. The hair color of the cut comb you used here. We stated that it should be compatible. If the hair is dark here, a light comb. If the hair is light, you can choose a dark comb. While cutting, make sure your scissors are specific. Certain scissors make clearer cuts and helps you cut hair without shredding. This is too when you cut your customer. So when the next month comes, it will tell you that your hair grows healthier. As you can see, the back stage is completely. We cut it with the first size we cut. Now we go to the left side. We will cut the sides. Here is to 2-stage chestnut hair. Here is the head of our customer first, adjusting the stance distance. And here, combing hair. As you can see, from the hair point we cut before, taking our guide, we continue our haircut from here. VE. From the first hair point we cut, following our guide, on our side. I keep cutting. After cutting the left side, the right side is also. We cut 2 stages. Our budget hair. E. I'm adjusting the stopping distance of the head of our budget. And as you can see, following our guide. We continue our cut. Here by taking the space in your ear and touching it with scissors. This is also very important. We continue our cut after receiving. Here at the bottom, after checking our guide, I keep cutting our hair point. To the front of the hair, after cutting the basic length of the hair. We will earn some reed, hereby creating distinctions from the line of the forehead and eyebrows. So E, by creating a separation of purchase motif. I'm creating a triangular distinction here. My eyebrows here. E from the starting and point of your eyebrows, E. Starting from 1. And our customer's E cutting section. Standing on the diagonal. I separate and we continue our cut. I'm applying 45-degree angles here. And the first hair point I cut as a guide. I keep cutting, providing a nice pass in front. Here cartoon bang curtain bangs. To get a look we call. We made our distinction and we continue our cutting process. After cutting the first part, I moved to the second part. Here is our comb. I'm measuring the hair point I cut before. And the same. I cut in inches. And gradually again at 45-degree angles. I continue to cut. As you can see, we got a blunt look. All hair length with moving fronts is the same size. A Kurdish hair design. If you want to get a haircut like this, coming to my hall, by appointment, you can get the same style haircut service from me. You can get a haircut. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you. Hello to you today. How to make pixie haircut design? I will explain it in detail. I create the basic distinctions as the first distinction ways separates the hair cutie, determines exactly clearly of the basic distinctions. Well, it's very important not first. I create E-profile distinction profile. Distinction forehead from the beginning straight separation where we are separated to the occipital area, say. Profile separation. The second distinction is Thednully distinction is also from the top point ouching. The tip of our comb from the point where his back touches starting. Saw from the temple regions and according to other temple from one temple to another. U-shaped distinction we have separated. Can also say E-hair after creating this distinction we have divided into two main sections, C bottom and top first. Starting from the bottom of E-way, we'll start the cutting process at the bottom. I will create a horizontal separation from the neck. E neither too thick nor too. The knee in linea after, creating a horizontal separation E. We are starting our hair cutie from the anxy part between fingers, as much as our finger can talk a touch. Your hair neck vey, start cutting at an angle of 45 degrees E. First the little E on the nape after, cleaning small hair with a shaver and a crossway diagonal E from the nape. Part by creating distinction C no. I start the cutting process these. 3 points I cut will be a guide for me dot by following this guide. Your higher going up step by step. I keep cutting burra. Yes, I touch my finger on the skin of the hair and E finger E high T. I cut it down at an angle of 45 degrees to. The second stage after cutting, I'm creating a horizontal distinction in. Guinean following the hair point I had cut before E, and I cut in the same planiso. I cut it the same size E here again. E now starting. From the right 45-degree cross separations with one beat creating E noothing is happening as I see. The hair spot I cut before it's suitable for the E part therein. The same E step by step in plan starting right to left. Eno. I am applying my cutting process got married. Didn't get it. It stayed on my head. From my head, I didn't. Want it all by myself, yes, no. After getting to the middle part T, an hour, from right to left T, I cut I. Stop after I get to the middle and D. Same way left, right, left side. That is, everyone is in the middle 80 unity 45 degrees, from the right, from the left side again, in a middle way of 45 degrees E. I'm shortening it to come because the angle on the right, and the angle on the left because the hair. Direction is different E. I'm cutting the right side until the middle part then I quittin'. I start guinea from the left side E guinea at a general 45 degree angle thentet part toe. Cut the guinea to the middle in the same way I'm going. To the third level. Friends dot in the third stage. The hair point that I cut before E, I'm cutting is. I will start cutting Berta, yes and more click from a point. IQT will change the finger angle. I set my finger to 45 degrees then, waiting again so, E45. Degrees to come E. I take the hair point I cut before end the hour. Hair E, at a 45-degree angling, cutting here friends occipital 4. Coming to the top of the region toe the occipital areaso, I'm applying a shortcut. Then, when I come to the top, in the last two parts so, the length of the hair is a little longer for applying a 45-degree angle. It doesn't happen in the same shortness. It goes from short to long so you didn't have a drug thingies. Exactly like fat, well, always have to pay attention to it. As you can see, the higher parts became longer. I'm setting the angle horaso because I cut it at 45-degree angles that he automatically came towards the top until it comes. Hair gets a longer look because the neck is short. The upper comb is a layered cutchered hair, a longer look at the top between people. There is nothing left between us. Ignorant mercy nothing left, became like Afghanis. So Islam neck part up to ear level eye. Cut the same way peak point with Donner Nithiso. What is this cruelties? Now when my son grows up can't, he travel with his friends so. He can't do anything so. What are we going to do now that boy as you can see, I came from the right to the left. Same from the left. I'm moving to the right at 45-degree angles he's cut after doing it. The sides remained on the back. You saw this from the top of the side, staking a subtle distinction from the hair point on the back eye. Take the guide and the guide a thin curtain at the topium, cutting the mirror size starting from the front after. Cutting this same length creating diagonal divisions again the curtain at the top of these distinctions in shape, sword. I took from the back how to I'm coming back you see at the topi, created a guide for myself, like this guide with diagonal. Diagonal divisions down I cut by following in here on the right and lefty. I keep the hair length and without making mistakes I continue the hair length as you can see two hair points complemented each thurso. From the topi, a thin curtain. Shape I set a point for myself and, with the bottom as you can see, 45 the upper part of the middle party. Cut with degrees after cutting right and left no. We're at the top guys in the hill creating. A crown separation again on the hill creating. A crown separation to the ear since one ear. And he divided the top into two main sections so. This is on the top now so guinea by this time. I'm creating a vertical distinction after. Creating this vertical separation found at the bottom I see the haircut I found, but what am I doing here a vertical angle of 90 degrees, according to the direction of hair Scan most after scanning yourself after seeing my guide at the extreme with the sharpening cutting technique. That is, straight scissors I cut with a blow yaw arresting.